Welcome back to another speaking tip. Today I wanted to discuss something that I see happen with speakers on a regular basis, and just let me give you an example. It was dark. I felt a strange vibration. I could see lights in front of me. I kept hearing a voice that said, "Turn left, turn left." But I didn't know what way was up or down. I had a strange feeling in my stomach. Not a feeling like I was going to die, but a feeling that I knew I was totally out of control. Okay, now that's the opening to a speech. Do you know what's going on? Do you have any idea what's going on? My point today is do not create confusions for your audience. And there's a difference between a confusion and a mystery. And I see people quite often open a speech or go into a section of a speech where they're trying to be this mystical, create this scenario as though it's the opening scene in a movie. Now, a movie is different than a speech. A movie, first of all, you've got a lot more sensory input for the audience. You've got sound, visual, you've got the colors, the motion, all the different things going on. With a speaker, all you have is your words. Now, yeah, maybe some gestures up here, but when you're painting a picture in the mind of the audience, you got just your words. So when I sit there and I say it was dark, I felt a faint, strange vibration, you're creating a confusion for the audience that they're trying to think, what is he talking about? What is it? They're trying to dub in what's happening. Now, as an example, a mystery could be, I was at 5,000 feet. It was dark. I was flying along at 200 miles an hour. I felt the vibration of the engine in my seat, and I could see the instrument lights in front of me, though not much else was visible, and I kept hearing a command that said, "Turn left, turn left." Well, now you know I'm flying an airplane, you know how high I am, you know how fast I'm going, you know what's going on, but there's a little bit of a mystery there, but you're not confused on what's going on. Now, one of the big issues that I see a lot of speakers do is they don't give the audience their relative data to think with what they're saying. And in the opening of any speech or in the description of anything, I've got some very fundamental things I talk about. Where was it? When was it? Who was there? What was going on? Especially, where was it? When was it? 1950, or I wouldn't say 1956, I wasn't around back then, but let's say like 1986. I was in New Orleans walking down Bourbon Street. I know exactly where you are and I know exactly when it was. Or when I was 43 years old, I was on a trip in London and I know what point in my life I am and I know where I am on the planet so I can tell the story. But I've seen speakers over and over again leave out when it was, where it was, even what was going on, and not give me any orientation to who was there so that I can't understand what's happening, but they have this scene that they want to try to share with me. So again, the point today is there's a big difference between a confusion and a mystery. Same thing if you're reading a book. A mystery sort of sticks you to the book. You're trying to figure out what's going to happen. You're flipping through it and you're moving along, you're trying to figure out how it's going to resolve, but you have all the facts of what's happening, but there's some missing pieces. The story hasn't quite come together yet. A confusion is like you pick up some bad handwriting on someone and you can't understand what the handwriting is and you're trying to figure out what they're saying. You can pick up a couple words in it. That's just simply a confusion. You don't know where you are and you don't know where you're going. And you don't know what's going on, but you know you are someplace, you're going somewhere and something's going on, but you don't have any idea what it is. Okay, so when you work with your audience, try to give them stable points to think with. Create the mystery around it, but give them some good, stable information. Now, another really critical point on this whole thing between confusions and mysteries is keeping a time sequence in. Again, I'll see speakers that will flip back and forth in time, and they don't keep a steady time sequence. It's one of the things I coach quite a bit. They'll have something that happened when they were 6, they'll have something that happened when they were 26, and they'll come back to something that happened when they were 12, when they were 32, and then when it was 18. Instead of going 6, 12, 18, 26, 32, in that sequence, so the audience can think with it in that direction. So there's different things to do to create the mystery, but don't create a confusion. With the confusion too, is again, giving the audience specifics to think with. And a lot of people don't mean to do this, but they'll say something, when I was a kid, or when I was in school. And they don't give any orientation to when that was, or also where it was. And so when it was, you could be in school. You went from school from about 6 years old to 18, some of us 22. That's a pretty big spread between being 8 years old and being 18 years old. So if you're going to talk about when I was in school, say when I was in the 3rd grade going to Carson Elementary School in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, I know where you are. I know how old you are now. Or my junior year in high school when I was at Carmel High in Indianapolis, I know where you are. I know when it was, so I can think with exactly what's going on. So I get the right picture in my mind. I've had this happen time and time again where somebody will say like, well, when I was in school, and you get the idea the guy's a junior in high school and he starts telling a story and it's not adding up because he's actually in the 3rd grade, but the person never clarified where were they in school, and that creates a confusion for the audience. Okay, so the simplicity, I'll just repeat it again. There's a difference between a confusion and a mystery. Create the mystery, don't create the confusion. Give the audience enough hard information to think with so they're not trying to figure out what you're talking about, but the missing piece that is part of your story, they're engaged in it, and you're not sticking their attention on all these unknown factors that you've laid out that you haven't defined. Define the factors, create the mystery. There's a difference between a confusion and a mystery. Create the mystery, do not create the confusion.